Hello everybody, Jeremy here, and today I'm in the beautiful outdoors. It's very appropriate because I wanted to show you this. This is the Emerson HD Action Cam, and this is something that I picked up for about $40 at Big Lots. And what this is Emerson's answer to something like the GoPro and other similar devices that allow you to mount to your bicycle or to your helmet or your car's dashboard or whatever you prefer, so that you can get some good first-person video perspectives of whatever you happen to be doing. Now, because this is $40, I was very curious as to how good the video quality was and whether or not it's actually worth your investment. So I'm going to strap this to my bike. I'm going to take a little ride around here, and we are going to see firsthand just how good this camera is. So before we get to those clips, let me tell you that this can take a maximum resolution video of 1280 by 720, so that's HD video. It can also take 5 megapixel still images. And we're going to look at a little closer look at this camera so I can show you around the menus and things like that. But for the price, 720p HD video, 5 megapixel stills. It comes with a bike mount, it comes with a helmet mount, it comes with a waterproof protective cover, it comes with a strap, and of course an instruction manual to get you all started. So let's show you those things right now. And here is a closer look at the Emerson HD Action Cam. Once again, $39.99 from Big Lots. So taking a look around the device, I can tell you that it is very light and it is made entirely out of plastic, so it does feel quite cheap. However, we see that on the back we do have a screen so that we can view things that we are taking pictures of or recording in live view mode. And there are also a few buttons on the camera as well. Up at the top, we see that there are 2 buttons. The one on the left is for the power button, and the one on the right is the shutter button that takes pictures and it starts recording videos and stops recording videos, and the microphone is located dead in the center. Along the left there is absolutely nothing. Those are no buttons. And then on the other side of the device is a 3-way toggle switch. In the middle, it means that you can record video. On the top, it means that you can record on the top, it means that you can take pictures, and then when you flick it all the way to the bottom, that means that you are in playback mode, so you can view the different things that you have recorded overall. So once again, build quality, absolutely not the best, but it is small enough to put in your pocket and take with you wherever you go. The back of the camera is very similar to a very standard digital camera these days. So we have a few different modes we can choose from in video mode. We can have 1280 by 720 HD video, and we can decide to set recording intervals. There's 3 different metering options for center weighted metering, spot metering, and multi, which I believe is a combination of the 2 in an automatic mode. You can also set your white balance, and you can choose from different filter effects. It's a normal by default, but we also have black and white, sepia, negative, red, green, and blue, and you can record all with those shades if you want. And there's also a date stamp that will always be on your videos if you want it to. So the screen on the back of the camera is not good. You are not going to be showing this off to anybody, so your best bet is to take those videos and pictures off the camera and put it. Here we have a protective shield for the front of the camera. And let me tell you, this thing is an absolute nightmare to take off the camera once you put it on. But it does have a mount on the front so that it can attach to the bike mount or the helmet mount. And it's just basically a piece of plastic of which will protect your camera from scratches in the front elements, but its main purpose to me is to be a mount. And you see you can slide the camera in there very easily. It holds very well, but if you put it in there, just know that taking it out is not going to be an easy job. Here we have 2 of the main components of this package. What you see right here is the bike mount, and on the right is the main mount that is going to be used no matter whether you use the bike mount or the helmet mount. Now, it comes attached, but the instruction manual doesn't tell you that you can connect these two together. So all you have to do is just sort of line up those grooves and slide, and that is what the finished product is going to look like. At that point, it's ready to go on the bike. Here's a closer look of the bike mount when everything is attached. So what you see at the bottom, this little knob here, is what you would turn in order to loosen the bracket so that you can slide it across your handlebar. And as you continue to turn it to the left, it pops open like that. So you just slide this right onto your handlebar and then tighten it back up, and it will fit very securely on your handlebar, and you don't have to worry about it sliding around or possibly sliding off and hitting the ground. It's just not going to happen. So when you're ready to attach the camera, what I do is first take the front protective plastic cover and I twist it onto the mount like so. And at that point, I can just slide the camera right in. Here's what this looks like. So when you have the bike mount attached and the protective cover attached, this is what it looks like. It almost sort of looks like a bike in its own right. But as you're riding, the screen will be facing you on your handlebar, and then you can just get a good look and see how it all comes together. And here we have the waterproof case that also comes with the camera. When I took it out of the box, the camera was already inserted on the inside of this, and it seems to be a quite durable plastic. Here's how you open it. There's a couple of latches along the right side, and what you have to do is lift the farthest right one up, and then you have to open up the left one from the opposite side, and that exposes the interior of the case. And then all you have to do at that point is just take the camera and just plop it down in there. Make sure that the buttons are aligned with those two knobs at the top of the case, because that is how you're going to control the camera. At that point, all you have to do is just attach both of these back together. It's easier than it looks. And here are those top buttons I was telling you about. Those will interact with the camera to activate the shutter and to turn it on and off. And this is what the camera looks like when it is actually mounted onto my bike. Now, what you're going to see now are some sample clips that I took in my ride around the block. In these clips, I attached the front protective cover to the camera and mounted the camera to my bicycle. So because the camera was being exposed to all the elements, we got some really bad wind noise going on. It sounds like a very staticky television set. Take a listen.
All of that there. As far as the eye can see.
And as I'm riding towards the sun, you can see a bit of lens flare popping up on the camera, which isn't the most attractive thing in the world, but that's not necessarily the fault of this camera specifically, because lens flare is very common with just about any camera when you're angled directly at the sun or if the sunlight is coming down in a certain way. But you can also tilt the camera left and right to change your perspective, and it holds its place fairly well if you want some more dynamic video footage there. And the video quality overall, I thought was pretty decent. The good thing about this camera is that it's very light, it's very small, fits in your pocket quite easily, and the battery life can potentially last longer because the screen turns itself off as you're recording, but it still records in the background, so you can get a little bit more battery life out of it that way. So, is this camera actually worth your money? For $40, I say, hey, it's not bad. Assuming that the build quality holds up over time and that it doesn't just suddenly break, then you can have yourself a pretty cool tool right here to just kind of capture your first person going arounds through everyday life and some sporting activities and whatnot. And you can do definitely a lot worse for the price, but if it does happen to break down within a short period of time or whatever, it'll only be out $40. So for now, I say it's a pretty sound investment. So I came back indoors because, man, it is hot out there. There's really no joke with the heat down here. But anyway, the Emerson HD Action Cam, what's the verdict? How does it stack up? Well, you know, I gotta tell you, for 40 bucks, it's not bad. Some things that I do definitely have to ding it for is for it being very cheap, very plasticky, and it feels like it can break quite easily. But then again, what do you expect for $40? The thing that you can't do is continuously compare it to a GoPro. It's not a GoPro. It's not going to compare in any way. It's not going to be a fair comparison. GoPros are going to cost you at least 200 bucks, and this is 40. So don't expect the same build quality. Don't expect the same stills quality. Do not expect the same video quality. They're just not in the same ballpark. So when you buy this camera, you're not trying to capture motion picture quality video. You're not trying to put together the coolest home video anyone has ever seen. You buy this to share your first person perspective through the everyday activities that you find yourself engaged in. Whether that's riding a bike like I did, or whether you have like an ATV, or if you skateboard, or if you snowboard, you know, things like that, where people normally just see someone recording you moving around, and it's not the same as when the camera is more or less sharing your field of view. It sees what you see. It depicts exactly what you were seeing as you were going through whatever you're going through, and that kind of strengthens a bond between you and the people who are watching your video, because it makes them feel like they're there, almost lets them feel like they're you in a way. So really, that's what you're paying for. And for the 720p video quality that this camera puts out, I have to say that is very passable. It's not bad at all. So if you were in BitLots and you saw this for 40 bucks, should you get it? I'd say, if you want to share your first person perspective, yeah, sure, go ahead. You know, you really can't go wrong. You know, if it breaks or you find out you just don't like it, at least you're not spending $200, $250 and wind up disappointed. It's only 40 bucks. The still quality, the 5 megapixel images that you can get from this, no, they're not good. They're not good at all. The smartphone that you may have gotten 4 years ago can take better still pictures than this. So don't even worry about that. Megapixels, they never were and they never will be the determining factor in how good your pictures are going to look. Forget about megapixels. The only thing that 5 megapixels does for this camera is accentuate how bad it is. So don't worry about that. Just use this to take your videos and you should be fine. I like the different filters that you can put on it because people love filters, and those are really good to add a little bit more flair, creativity to your videos. And I also like the fact that they included the bike mount and the helmet mount, you know, just so you can have more versatility. So you're getting pretty much a lot of bang for your buck, you know, especially with the waterproof case. You can stick your head in the toilet or in the bathtub if you want to see what the world looks like under there, you know, and I think it's a pretty good value. So it gets a thumbs up for me. And if it costs more, if it costs like 70, 80 bucks, I might be a little bit more hesitant, but for 40 bucks, what are you going to do? It's all right. So thanks for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later.